Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is another money making method. I'm essentially starting my money grind week early. You guys voted for it, so here you go. I'm going to be covering a range of cars. I've obviously covered all of the new ones at this point, this being the last one, the Porsche Cayman Gt4 from 2016, an absolute personal favorite of mine, and I am so glad this thing is in the game. So it's time to sit back and make a ton of money with it. So if you want to buy this thing for yourself, it's 130,000 credits from the Porsche dealer, and I believe this actually may be the cheapest Porsche in the game, and you get an absolute ton of bang for your buck with this car. Performance is excellent even as standard. If you haven't watched my review for this thing, I highly suggest watching it. I had absolutely a ton of praise for it, so it's nice and cheap, a pretty easy starting point. Livery wise, this is the one we're going to run. It's nice and simple. It will change the wheels on it, and it will add a roll cage. They will all affect performance points. We're actually going to take off one of the kind of aero bits for this car that comes with the livery. It's from BFR Speedman 75, so go ahead, search him up and go and get this livery. However, just remember to remove the aero part that I'm going to tell you. So with this car, we are running a wide body, so make sure you go ahead, put that on and make the car nice and chunky. In terms of wheels, we'll go and check them out. We are actually going to be running a pair of BBS RI-A's. Now they look really nice and clean, pretty similar to the standard wheels, so go ahead and make sure you've got them on. In terms of aero, at the front we're running type A, the side we are running type A. The rear, this is the part we're going to remove. We're going to remove the diffuser and just run the standard rear. This is because it will drop the performance points. And in terms of wing, we are running a custom wing set on the back. In terms of performance parts that you're going to need, well, from the sports category, you are going to need weight reduction stage 1. Ignore the sports hard tires, they come on as standard. From Club Sports, it's bought up a one-way LSD, but I actually believe I'm using the full LSD. Weight reduction stage 2, power restrictor and obviously ballast. Semi-racing is crankshaft, fully customizable computer, a fully customizable LSD. I believe that is the actual one I'm using, and you're going to be running the manual, fully customizable manual transmission. In terms of racing, it's stroke up, engine balance tuning, polished ports, racing air filter, racing silencer, racing exhaust manifold, racing brake pads, brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension, racing clutch and flywheel, and then we are going to run racing hard tires. And from extreme, we're going to be running carbon ceramic brake kit, intermediates and heavy wets for when the rain comes down. So here is the tune that you're going to run. You are going to run the hard compound of tires, the fully customizable suspension set to 68, 80, 5 and 6 at the rear, 31 front, 31 rear, 41 front and 41 rear, 2.80 front. Then at the rear, it's 3.00, negative camber angle at 2.7 front, 2.2 rear, toe angle 0.04 front and 0.21 rear, one sticking outwards, one sticking inwards, and then on differential is 1045, fully customizable manual, not the racing, set to 330. We're not going to be running any ballast or anything like that, so sorry, ignore that. Fully customizable ECU is on. In terms of aero, it's 126 and 339 at the rear. Then obviously we've got all the racing parts, so air cleaner, silencer, exhaust manifold, brake systems carbon, brake pads are racing, brake controllers on, set to front rear balance of 2. And then we've obviously got our racing clutch and flywheel, bore up, stroke up, engine balance tuning, polished ports, racing crankshaft, weight reduction stage 1, 2 and 3. Feel free to pause at any moment. So this is for the newbies. In terms of event, you're going to head into Europe, so just go ahead and click that. Go over to Le Mans in France, and it's the World Touring Car 700 event, so go ahead and enter that. So in terms of running this event, you want to put your your fuel mix down to lean, so that's number 6, and you're going to get around about 3 laps of fuel per tank while running that, so it's extremely handy that you're able to kind of use a road car that has the same kind of fuel consumption as something like a race car. I know recently a couple of the Le Mans methods have been 2-lap sprint cars essentially, both of those being American muscle cars. So this is for those that want to do basically an extra lap. Now in terms of the way this car handles, it's super easy to drive. I find that it feels like it's on rails. I've seen people saying it's quite understeery. I didn't have any of that kind of effect on the car. Like, it just didn't seem to understeer. It seemed to be absolutely planted and pretty much perfect throughout the corners. Obviously I feel like we may have kind of rectified some of those problems that people were talking about the car from standard. In terms of top speed, running fuel mix 6, you're going to be running just a little bit quicker than the Group 4s. If you turn it up, you will hit upwards of 200 miles per hour, so it's no slouch at all. The main place you're going to be making up your time is actually in the corners. I find this car is absolutely incredible through there. In terms of difficulty, I recommend just running easy. At the end of the day, you're just grinding money, and Le Mans is all about kind of finding different tunes and cars. It's very kind of open, so that's kind of what I like about it. But I do recommend running easy, because if you do make a mistake on the harder difficulties, it could possibly cost you half an hour of your life that you'll never get back again. But it's completely really up to you. In terms of losing that clean race bonus, now it's a bit of a weird one this, so you're only ever going to lose it if you overtake under a yellow flag condition. However, you will mainly be out front for the majority of this race, so once you've overtook the AI, it's very rare you'll ever see them again, so you shouldn't really have to worry about that. But just keep your eyes peeled, because sometimes before you're about to get on the straight, the Lamborghini and I believe it's the Honda like to kind of hit each other, and every now and again it will put a yellow flag out, so just be very mindful not to overtake if the yellow flag's out. As you can see, pretty much at the end of the straight, we are on the back of the front three. We've overtook the Suzuki. We're about to get the Dodge Viper here. We're going to get a better run out of the corner and basically slipstream up ahead. Eventually, a better top end is going to kick in, and we're going to overtake the Viper, run in the slipstream of the Corvette and do a nice little overtake on them. After that, it's all about kind of stretching your legs and extending your lead, nice and easy and straightforward. So there we go, that's the Corvette done, and now we don't really have to worry about the AI for the rest of the race. There's a lot of RNG in terms of weather here, so I recommend as you go onto lap 2, keep your eye on the weather radar. You already know you're going to get 3 laps of fuel out of a tank of this car, so just focus on that weather radar and keep your eye out for rain that will or will not be incoming. As you can see, it was as I was about to take my first pit stop that the rain decided to come down. Now it's quite broken up, so I'm going to take a pretty early guess and say this rain is going to stick in for a while. It's a lot more dynamic, and in my opinion it's quite slower moving in comparison to the way it used to be. So I would basically, what I'm going to do here is get on the racing intermediates. I'm going to fill the car to full and basically go out and risk it all really. Obviously if the track doesn't get too wet, these intermediates will not last 2 minutes, so it's a bit of a risky move here. However, in the long term in this event, it's really going to pay off, and at the end I was actually too quick to be able to do a stop and wait, so a bit frustrating. However, I enjoyed my time with this car, and it's definitely going to be one of the more go-to vehicles for me, especially around Le Mans. You know, the cheap starting price, the cheapness of the upgrades means that around about 300 to 400k and you are all good to go. So basically you're going to make 400k back the first race, and after that it's just complete profit constantly. So absolutely love the vehicle. So we've filled the car to full, we've got the inters on, and away we go. And as you can see, the track is still in dry conditions. However, this rain is going to pretty much hang around for the majority of the race until the very late stages, so this move is actually going to pay off in terms of tyre choice. So away we go for 3 more laps. We've got a little bit of a break in the rain as we went on to lap 5. However, it's not going to last for very long, as we're going to get one more downpour and then it's going to be basically the track drying up. Just over the halfway point of lap 5 and the rain came down again for one last go. After this, it was pretty much plain sailing as the track began to dry out and the sun came back up. So again, just keeping an eye on that weather radar, because it's really important you do. If you don't, you can really get caught out by the rain and how it moves and changes over time. Now, at the end of lap 6, I would usually stop and wait. However, I've got too much time left on the countdown, so I'm actually going to have to pit in. I'm going to put the hards on because the track's pretty much dry at this point, and I'm going to fill the car to full. The main reason I'm doing this, I know it kind of takes longer, is so basically I can burn off more fuel and put a quicker lap in and lap around to the finish in the fastest time possible. So we've still got 3 minutes left. Now, usually if it was around about 2 minutes, I'd be more than happy to sit and wait. Obviously you can see the gap to the AI is 2 minutes. However, we've just gone that little bit too quick in terms of pit stops and all that good stuff that we've actually got too much time left on the clock. So I'm just going to go ahead, do one more pit stop. You may or may not have to do this, but with the pace of this car, you more than likely are going to have to do an extra pit stop. But again, a lot of RNG with this one. So I'm going to fill the car to 2 laps of fuel, or just over, and I'm basically going to burn it all off and run at fuel mix 1 now. So you'll see I'm going to turn the engine up and run the car as fast as I possibly can for one more go around. So around the last few corners here, we've got over a 2-minute gap to P2. We've done an extra pit stop, we've done all we've had to do, and we complete 7 laps at Le Mans in just over 30 minutes. So overall it was a 33.926 with a fastest lap of 4 minutes 14.391, set on lap 2 just before the rain set in. Over a 2-minute 11 gap to second place, so very easy. And as you can see, we actually was that quick that we had too much time left on the timer to be able to stop and wait. That's 825k in around about 30 minutes. Nice and easy. So I 100% recommend running this method and running this car. It's an absolute beauty of a car. One of my personal favorites in Gran Turismo 7. I'm so glad this got added with update 1.20. The sound of it, the sight of it, the fact that you can tune it for a lot of events. I believe you can also tune it for Tokyo. So I may go ahead and buy another one and turn it into a Tokyo grinder. So we'll wait and see on that one. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to subscribe, like and comment. Turn your notifications on to be up to date with all the best in terms of Gran Turismo 7, including money guides, open lobbies and all that good stuff. Thank you so much to our channel members. If you want to become a channel member, feel free. There should be a button somewhere in the video. Donation links are in the description down below if you want to donate and help the channel out. And that's it. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Peace.